if there were no guns, and if there really was no possibility of other nations or people having wars or violence on the street, don't you think that in this day and age that we actually have everything we need at the moment? For everybody. Just answer that. Do you think that the world truly has everything we need? I think we've got all the technologies technically that we need for the moment. I think we've got enough food, it's just we don't distribute it well enough. It's not managed well. Money and food, things like that. But we do have enough food, and we certainly have enough money. So the idea of an economic recession happening and now, to me, is just a theatrical joke. Because professional footballers and sports people are still going to get paid buckets of money. And the rich and famous will still have their connections and stuff like that. So I just think that, how are we going to get this world better? How are we going to get it better? Certainly not the way that we conduct conversations of communication through the internet waves from a distance, stabbing people and shooting people virtually from afar, and not having to be responsible for the damage that you've caused, such as George W. Bush, the second one, who's been in office for 8 years and destroyed the picture of America. And so Americans and America have to pick up the pieces now. What's going to happen in the future, though, if there is the end of the world? Just say there is an end of the world and it's nothing to do with humans. Just for an example. If it's a volcano, if it's a meteor, or a few meteors, if it's another planet colliding into us, it could be like something like that. If it's the end of the world, have we actually done enough for the future generations of living species with intelligence and brains, and maybe English, French, German, Spanish, Japanese, and Korean speaking aliens? Like in the future time, when this world collapses and explodes or implodes or whatever, and the new species come onto Earth and they discover archaeological findings, and they're trying to work out, for instance, Sony laptops. They find a Sony laptop and they think, what was this? Do you not think that it's necessary, before the world explodes, implodes, blows up, gets destroyed by humans or not by humans, do you not think it's important for future generations, regardless of what species of alien or human they are, but they might end up living on this planet, do you not think it's important to sort of have, send information pods off into space, or make them land on all other planets, a start-off kit, a survival kit, have a laptop that is powered by solar power, or powered by wind. If there's no sun on this planet that we put this pod on, that it somehow it will be able to turn on, and it will in some way be able to explain to whoever turns it on that there existed a civilization on planet Earth for more than 2009 years. Certainly more than 2009 years. There was a man that came, his name was Jesus Christ, and he supposedly died for everybody, and he's supposedly coming back, but he didn't say when. And these people who believe in Jesus Christ coming back from the dead, let's just remind you all, they expect him to come back and fix everything. Certainly, I can't imagine Jesus Christ coming back and being all happy with the fundamentalist Christians that supposedly are believers in Jesus Christ, because I don't think Jesus Christ, if he ever did come back, would be at all satisfied with the level of disgusting attitudes of many, and not all, Christians. Christians believing in Christ, not Christians believing in God. You know, they don't believe in God, they believe that Jesus Christ is God. And that's just so warped, it's unbelievable. But so, when we're going to send this pod, or many pods, I think we should send many pods through outer space. You know, some that will just be dangling in the space itself, or some that will be actually sent to certain planets. Because if this world does go down, don't you think it's necessary that we kind of explain things to people? Because nobody had the technology, as far as we know, back 2,000 years ago, to record something that couldn't be fucked with, you know. Now, even computers can be fucked with viruses. Isn't it funny? Let me go on to another point of viruses on a computer. I think it's extremely hilariously funny and ridiculous, by the way, that it's not funny at all, that there actually are viruses on computers. Now, computers are man-made computers, yet we've got viruses on computers. Don't you think it's a bit suspect, the fact that viruses were engineered by human beings to destroy computers? And do you not think that it's a bit of a coincidence that there are some severe viruses out there in the world for human beings that might have just been invented by human beings as well? Possibly the same human beings that I mentioned a minute ago, but of course I won't mention that in the same sentence, just in case these hate-filled people who actually preach love but don't have love in them, because they're very segregative, or if that's a word, they like to segregate themselves from people who don't believe what they believe, which is quite sad, really. You know, so I'd like to have a situation where there would be information pods, so that the future generations, or the future intelligent species, whatever they might be, find our information, and they can Google, basically, in the laptop, everything. They could find videos of me, for instance, and they could find photos of our world of today and the last 2,000 years. You know, maybe not photos of the last 2,000 years, but you know what I mean. Yeah, can we get that together, please, people on planet Earth? Because we don't really have our shit together. There's too many people out there that don't have their shit together, and they're destroying our planet as we speak. And they're not thinking of tomorrow. They're thinking of themselves. Tomorrow doesn't exist for them. It's just them. And I think it's really necessary to do things like that. I also, just in this video, seeing that I'm kind of in a good mood and whatever, also add my point of earthquakes. I personally believe that the oil that we take out of the ground is used for something. I don't think oil was meant to burn. You know, I don't think you were meant to burn oil for fuel. I think oil was meant to do similar stuff that oil does for us humans. It stops things crushing off each other. So oil, in my opinion, helps the tectonic plates that are underneath the earth to move around. And the fact that there's a lack of oil in the ground, I mean, not a lack of oil, but there's considerably less oil in the ground because we keep burning it. You know, I think that is causing much more friction between the tectonic plates, and causing basically more earthquakes and volcanic activity, at least, because it's just you know, it would make sense to me. But I've discussed this with scientists, like professional scientists and whatever, and they always tell me no, it couldn't be possible. But I don't believe them. I mean, I don't believe that these people are actually as intelligent as they think they are, because I think they've been overloaded with information and they're not sure anymore what the truth is, which is a point on education. You know, if you learn too much, you can't work out things anymore. You know, because you only know things that you actually know, and you don't take risks to think whether you might know it instinctively, you know. There's a lot to be said for species on planet Earth, not humans, but species. I mean, humans have it too, but I'm talking about birds. Birds, generally, you know, they don't. We say that they don't really talk to each other, yet they're able to fly in the sky in unison, without talking to each other before. And that's what us intelligent humans, believe that birds and animals don't talk to themselves. They don't communicate, and they just happen to instinctively do the things that they do because they're animals and they're not humans. Well, I have to say that animals have more respect for their homeland, and animals have more respect for each other and a more understanding of how life works than the so-called intelligent humans. Are we intelligent, or are we just going to die stupid? Because I'd like to die working on our intelligence. Ciao, peace.